Alright guys, this is a real quick video on a Harbor Freight Series 2 tool cart mod. This is a real popular modification. A lot of guys on Facebook, you'll see it on the Stacked Cart Gang, I think is what it's called on the page, and this is where I got that idea. But you can build this cart, you can do the dual stacked cart without actually making the cart any taller, and it's really easy to do. This top section, this top tray, which you can see I've attached here, it's got some perimeter rivets. You drill those rivets out around the front and the back. And then there's some rivets down the middle that hold this guide in, and that holds the tracks for those two drawers. You got to remove that, and then you end up with a section of cart that is from here to here, no top, and then you can attach it to the side if you want. And then you've got to trim the tray. You've got to trim the bottom of the tray out a little bit right there, and beyond that, what you need to do is you need to lift the bottom section of cart up out of that tray. And as it turns out, if you've got any of the Harbor Freight magnets, any of these, if you take them apart, this is what you're left with. This is what's inside those magnets if you've never taken one apart. And if you lay those down flat, that is the perfect height to set that bottom cart inside that tray to lift it up, to make it trim out really nice against the support rail that holds the top cart up. And you know, you magnetize that down, you don't have to secure it. Those magnets are really strong. I think I've got like 15 of them down there. And that holds that really well in place. So if you do that, this modification is extremely easy to do. You have to remove this top section. You have to remove that set of tracks, and then you can really easily either rivet or zip screw them back in right there. And then that's done. It doesn't take super long to do it all. And then on this, I actually Loctited that key, and if you put Loctite on the inside of the barrel of the key, it still works perfectly and the key won't come out, so you won't lose it. Those are spring loaded, so it doesn't want to hold the key in there. But don't Loctite the outside of the barrel of it, otherwise you're going to get your lock stuck. And I took the hydraulic rams off because they really made that lid slam open. And then what I'm going to end up doing is taking this piece of pegboard, metal pegboard, which is, you know, 1/2 inch thick, and I'm going to hang it in there and put my levels and my big pliers and stuff like that in there. And then that storage compartment is nice and tucked away. And then this is what I ended up doing with the rest of the second cart as I built this little table saw caddy. I didn't have to buy anything extra. It was all little leftover parts from the original cart. I am going to have to change these. There's not enough vertical metal on that, so these are the legs that I cut off, so I'm going to redo these pieces and put those in because it's a little soft. But that ends up being the perfect height to use with a standard like 6-foot folding table. And that gives you a nice outfeed table. So I've got this folding table right here, and it's the exact same height as this complete setup now. So now I can take my table saw outside. And that really was the whole impetus behind me doing that, was because the way I used to have this set up, this table saw was on a stand right here, and this yellow table was my outfeed table that was right here, and that just wasn't the most convenient thing in the world. That black box used to be on top of this box, and it was really causing me to not have a ton of work surface. So I did that cart to gain extra drawer storage, put this on that caddy so that I could utilize this workbench right here in my work area. And then I built just, I don't know if you want to call it a hutch or whatnot, but this is just pegboard that I painted black. Some heavy-duty adjustable angle iron, or not adjustable, but slotted angle iron. There's 4 pieces of that on there to hold it up. And then these shelf brackets. And that was really all spare materials. The only thing I had to buy were these. I think I got $15 in a pair of those. And other than that, oh, I bought the light too. I bought that light. But I did all that so that I could create a little bit more of a functional and a cleaner workspace. If you look at the other two previous videos I did, you can see the toolbox and the tool cart layout, and it was cluttered and just didn't work out for me. So the table saw caddy, the mission was to make this portable, was to make the table saw portable. And I decided that I could do it by stacking a cart and then built this little rollaway job. And that has been working out really well. So I take that outside. I don't have any more dust in the shop. I was always fighting dust in the shop, and I hooked my vacuum up to the table saw, but it's still, table saws are really messy. So I will do a little bit more of an in-depth update and a tour once I get a tour 2.0, if you will, because I've already done one. Once I get this like fully stocked the way I want it. And then this, aesthetically, this has turned out really well. And I really like having this station right here. This is a big enough work surface for me to do most anything on. I'm going to probably get a piece of 1/4 or 3/16 thick aluminum and put across this because I don't want to scar this surface up too much. I don't want to beat it up. I don't want to have it all used up and then it be junk. I want it to stay smooth. So that'll get a metal cap. And then these are all the tools that you saw before except for these. I think I take that back. Those. And I picked up the Icon metric ratcheting stubbies. And I went and got one of these. I've really been wanting to try one of these out. I'm a DeWalt guy. You can see I've got the Milwaukees. But I really wanted one of these, so I actually picked this up brand new off the Facebook Marketplace for a great price. And yes, you don't get a warranty like that, but for what the guy was asking for it, still in the box and in the original packaging, I couldn't refuse it. So I will, again, once I get all the tools that are stowed in there and in there organized and get the pegboard done in there, I'll do a little bit more in-depth of a video. But that's your stacked cart. And then the guts of the second cart make an awesome little power tool caddy. I've seen guys do welding carts with them, but the table saw caddy is perfect for me. I'm super happy with that. The only thing I don't like about it is that Ryobi table saw is a total piece of shit. So I'll be getting a DeWalt one soon enough. Obviously pretty into the DeWalt stuff. So the table saw does its job. I bought it thinking I was going to use it one time. I had one project I needed one for, and I didn't want one because of how much space it takes up. Because as you can see, my shop is really small. And I'm primarily doing, automotive stuff in here. But in an old house and living on an urban farm, you can't get away from the fact that you're going to do DIY woodwork. It's just going to happen. So I'm going to keep the table saw. I'm just going to upgrade it to a little higher quality one. All right, guys. Thanks.